Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenihan.
And that would be me. Thanks again for joining us on The Connection. It's good to make the connection, and I wanted to tell you a story. When I was a kid growing up, my father had a distaste for cussing and swearing. You know, he would say, and I was raised a strict Catholic, and I remember him saying, you know, people that cuss and swear a lot, it's because they just don't have the vocabulary to express themselves well. So he always kind of would grind that into our heads, my brother and I. And I remember when he retired from Ford Motor Company, I remember one of the guys that worked with him said, you know, I loved working with your dad. And I'll tell you one thing, he get into some real heated arguments and things would happen at the plant. But never once did I ever hear your dad swear. And I go, really? That doesn't surprise me. Never once. Not once. Now, I tell you this story because the songwriter I have today is kind of the same way. I have never heard a cuss word out of this guy. In fact, he's known for his saying, daggum. And what is it? Monkey muffin...
Donkey muffin chicken onion.
Chicken onion, when you're really mad.
Or just very excited, but yeah.
Or real excited. It's Justin Love back with us. Hey, Justin. It's good to have you back. He was on episode 20 in the very first year of this podcast.
Yeah.
And a lot has changed since then, huh, Justin?
So much, man.
Man, you just signed your first big publishing deal, and I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I want to hear all about it. It's SB21, right?
SB21, yeah. It's been a journey. Obviously, like, you know, it's a 10-year town. We said that whenever I was here the last time.
Everybody says that, yeah.
And, right, yeah. And I think the thing that's amazing is, you know, I got offered my publishing deal right at my 10 years.
Right at your 10 years?
Yeah, like literally, like maybe a couple months afterward.
Wow, that's
so,
great.
like, because this year I've got a Bluebird Cafe show coming up on my 11th year anniversary.
That's cool.
May 11th. It'll be
now that isn't your first full round that you got to put together, is it? Because I've seen you there.
No. This will be my. Well, technically, those other rounds that I've been in, I was invited. So this will be. I think this is going to be the one that I actually get to put together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I get the opportunity to do that last summer.
Yeah.
And what a thrill that is.
What it is, man. It's just a beautiful thing. So my publisher, Teresa. The lady who owns it.
What a wonderful lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
She saw something in me, and I'm thankful that, you know, God got her ears curious enough to want to hear more of my music and hear more of my story. And the whole way that came about is at that time there was like a mentorship going on with an artist that was possibly going to be on America's Got Talent or The Voice, one of the two.
One of those?
It was the Voice.
The Voice.
And either way, it was. I got hired to play the guitar for the artist.
Oh, great.
So I was like, okay, cool. This guy named Monty introduced me to Teresa, and I walked in, and says, you seem like a pretty good guitar player. I'm like, yeah, I'll do my best, you know. And needless to say, after a couple of months, you know, I was playing for this artist so much that he was like, man, I really want him to play for my audition.
Wow.
So I went in, and I was also told to sign up myself as an artist at that time. I was like, oh. So I signed up, I filled the packet out, whatever, and that day, unfortunately, it was not supposed to be my day because I woke up so groggy, so congested. It was like, but I still sang I Wanna, and I also sang another song. But
that's one of my favorites that you have, I Wanna.
Thank you. It's still my favorite. It's been hard to beat it, but I think it was just because of the simplicity of how it came about. But anyway, it's a beautiful song. So after I got through playing guitar for this guy, or getting ready to, you know, fill out my packet, and they call my name first. I was not ready for that.
Juliet just jumped up on the table.
You ain't heard me cuss. You was about to hear me like us.
Did she scare the bejeebers out of you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my girl. Sorry. I should have warned you ahead of time.
That's okay. But anyway, and so what ended up happening is the publisher turned around to me, Teresa's like, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'm here to play guitar for him. So if I'm going in, he's going in with me, and he's going first.
Good, yeah.
And she just wasn't expecting that type of selflessness. And so I just told her, I'm not looking for anything in return. I said, I appreciate you taking time to talk with me. And I started playing some of her little get-togethers she had at her office. It was just all songwriters. All songwriters were welcome. And I played a couple of songs, and then their partners came to town, partners of the company. Mm-hmm. And they loved me so much that night. I did my song Time Ain't Now. I did Easy For You to Say, and I've written some great songs and with great people. And the next night at the local, they ended up coming out, and they wanted to hear my story.
The local's a really cool nightclub here in Nashville.
Yes. A freak show was going on. So we went outside, and needless to say, I was there for over an hour, and they were literally just like asking me about my story. And then literally, I think it was not even a week after that, I got asked to come in, and I went and chatted with her, and she goes, "You ever thought about the SB21 music publishing family?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know quite a few of the writers, and the alumni as well." And she goes, "How would you feel about, being signed?"
Wow.
With them. And it was like right after that, I got like 3 days to process everything and pray, and I got a peace about it, and I've been grinding ever since.
You knew it was the right thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So you've been writing a lot, huh? A lot more? Yeah?
Been writing a ton, yes.
And this isn't unusual this time for some reason. You have a full-time job, too.
Yep.
So making time to write, where do you find it?
Man, I guess I find it in the energy that I have left.
You have
the
lot
passion,
of energy. Yeah.
The passion that
there's the word
fuels me for wanting to do what I keep doing, which is getting up in the morning, going and doing that day job to fuel the money and what I need income-wise on top of what I'm doing with writing songs to then go in the studio quicker.
Wow.
That's what keeps my process going.
You must work 18, 20-hour days. Crazy.
I work quite a bit, yeah.
That's awesome.
And this whole past weekend, I was working on demos from 10 a.m. in the morning to almost 6 at night. Both back-to-back days, and then a writing session in between.
Now, you sing your own demos? On your own demos?
Yeah, sing my own demos and build the whole tracks. I'm learning that whole thing, so it's been a fun process.
That is such an advantage for songwriters, I think, today. You can do that if you have the ability to do that, to produce your own demos, sing your own demos, play your own music, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is. You can get stuff to the either the gatekeepers or whoever's wanting it quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess if anything, I've been so basic on my demos that now I'm like, I've got the space, I've got the time to put in on weekends. I literally devote my time to maybe 1 or 2 writes, and the rest is studio time.
Oh, wow.
Because it's usually when I'm the most effective. I ain't got to move. I ain't got to leave.
And make good use of the songs that you're writing. There's guys I know that will write 300-400 songs a year. I'm like, what do you do with them all?
Right.
You have time to get all of those produced and out there? I don't know.
No.
There's a lot of different philosophies.
There is, and I think you pick as you write certain songs, you go, that one we should probably look at a little bit more serious.
It feels special at the time.
Yeah, and you want to get it. Your co-writers especially, some of my co-writers are like, hey man, I'd love to get this to my people. They're plugging for so-and-so. Certain artists are looking for this song.
Yeah.
And so you're like, while it's hot, you better get it rolling, So I jumped and...
Drop it while it's hot, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
There you go.
I dropped it while it was hot, yes. I dropped the coffee on my pants this morning while it was hot. True story. Ooh. True story.
Ooh. Oh, no.
So, yeah, it was awful.
So the next song goes, oh!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. How about we have a song to start off? Okay. Let's hear what Justin Love is all about. The man. You probably, if you're here in town, you've heard this guy. He plays at all the writers' rounds and all around town. He's amazing.
I'll start off with a song that I just wrote recently.
Great.
With Delphia and Grace Maher.
Oh, two wonderful girls.
Two wonderful girls.
They really are great people.
They are, and the way that the song is inspired, so like I was supposed to get dinner with a friend of mine. Not someone that I like, but just a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And they told me, hey, let's get dinner, but might have to wait till I confirm if I'm going to have a date tonight or not. I said, okay, that's fine, whatever. Well, then she calls me the next day and says, hey, Justin, my date plans ended up falling through. My boss had issues, all this stuff, and yada, yada, just personal stuff. And then she ended it with saying, but I want to thank you for being my backup man. And I was like, you put your foot in your mouth so far, by the time you think you got it out, I already got a song about it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
So this is where that song came from.
He is prolific.
You, me, keeping things loose, keeping it low-key, and are we more than friends with some late-night chemistry? Well, maybe I'm not the only one you're calling baby. Tell me if I got it wrong. I don't wanna be low. I don't wanna be your standby lover, always calling at midnight. Never wanna stay till daylight. No, it ain't right. I don't wanna be your backup plan, your backup man. Don't think I'm ever gonna understand why you wanna keep us under covers. I don't wanna be your standby lover. Oh, standby lover. See, I need just a little more than this. Should we call it quits, call it what it is? Well, maybe I'm not the only one you're calling baby. Tell me if I got it wrong. I don't wanna be low. I don't wanna be your standby lover, always calling at midnight. Never wanna stay till daylight. No, it ain't right. I don't wanna be your backup plan, your backup man. Don't think I'm ever gonna understand why you wanna keep us under covers. I don't wanna be your standby lover, a standby lover. No, I won't love, you won't lust. I guess that means the end of us. It's never gonna be good enough, 'cause I don't wanna be your standby lover, always calling at midnight. Never wanna stay till daylight. No, it ain't right. I don't wanna be your backup plan, your backup man. Don't think I'm ever gonna understand why you wanna keep us under covers. I don't wanna be your standby lover. No, no standby lover. No, I don't wanna be. Oh, I don't wanna be your standby. I don't wanna be your standby. Why you wanna keep you and me under covers? I don't wanna be your standby lover.
That's awesome. That's great. Justin Love is our guest. This is the Songwriter Connection podcast. You know, you do a lot of things right. Good player. Your songs are singable. They're very much in the pocket of today's country music. And the grooves just always get me on your songs. Were you a drummer first?
Yeah, I was a drummer.
Yeah, that was your first instrument, huh?
Yeah, vocalist at 5 years old, and then yes, drums at 11.
Drums. You still play little drums?
I write from a drummer's perspective. If I'm able to get behind a set, I can still annihilate what I want.
Well, do you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense listening to your writing, because you can just hear the cadence in it, and the way the words match the beat.
Yeah.
Right on. And that's a talent. That's really something.
It's also fun sometimes to then forget the beat, to then do like internal rhymes and stuff like that, where they kind of stagger a little bit, because I love stuff like that.
Oh,
like
I do
Richard
too.
Marx is a guy I've been really delving a lot into.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen to his pop melodies and how off the cuff some of his melodies are, way out of whack with the beat. Doesn't make much sense, but it works.
And
it sticks in the ear, and it's like, oh my gosh, that was so brilliant. I wonder if he did it on purpose or if he did it on accident. Either way, it's so...
Did I hear he's a Nashvilleian now, Richard Marx? I thought I did.
I don't know. According to a source of mine, who was a good friend of him, he kind of did like the strings for him, set up the string stuff for him. He said he was still out in Chicago. Okay. But he probably has a place here. I
wouldn't be surprised. A lot of them do these days.
Yeah.
A lot of stars do.
I would love to run into him. I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. I read his book. His book was amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Very inspiring.
Maybe someday he'll read your book.
Man, I tell you. Yes.
I love what you do, man. And I think there's a bright future ahead for you. I really do.
Thank you, man. As long as God keeps paving the way, I'll keep trucking every day. Actually, that's not true. I'll keep trucking every day, and God will somehow pave the way.
You know, our very first show with you, which was episode 20, if you go and back episodes of Songwriter Connection podcast, I think we called it Bible Verses to Verse and Chorus, because your dad was a preacher, right?
Yeah, youth pastor. Uh-huh.
Youth pastor, and he would pay you allowance if you knew your verses, right?
Yes. The chores was just something we had to do. It was the Bible verses, the quoting those, getting those memorized, that got us our allowance.
Isn't that something? And I met your dad not too long ago.
Yeah.
Came to Nashville, one of your shows.
Yeah, he did.
Great guy. You guys are still real close?
Oh, yeah. So he's a truck driver, so we talk all the time, every day.
Ah, good. Very good. You grew up in Waco, Texas?
Waco, Texas.
Yeah. Were your parents musical or no?
My dad was. My mom, I guess if she could play anything, she could play the tambourine. I'm just saying.
Well, there you go. I mean,
she was tone deaf when she tried to sing. We found out one time. So,
well, that's where you get your beats from.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, I think someone in my family, my aunt, she was a snare drummer. She was on the drum line playing snare. Wow. I think that's the only person that I know that actually played drums in my family.
Mm-hmm. I also read the Nashville Voyager, a nice article about you recently, and said by the age of 9 you had your first guitar, but you didn't really take it serious until a couple years later. Mm-hmm. But wrote your first song at age 11?
Yeah. Wrote my first, and what's crazy is I still have that thing memorized. I have it memorized. Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Can you share a little bit of it or no?
Oh,
you
gosh.
don't do that. No.
Dreamed that my life was out of order, 'cause I was supposed to be across the border over there for the meeting in the air.
Meeting in the air.
When I got across, it felt so different, 'cause I sure smelled some kind of fragrance from above.
Oh my.
It was God's grace and love.
At 11 years old.
I was there for the meeting in the air. I had fun praising Jesus over there. And when I die, I'm gonna be with my God in the meeting in the air.
That is crazy.
It only ministered to one person, and she was partially insane.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm thankful for that. My
At
memory
age
is why I
11.
still have it memorized, yes.
That's incredible. And how many songs since then? Thousands?
I think I'm up to, almost 800.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely been a journey, and it's been fun, because I had someone ask me the other day, it says, your very first song you wrote was, whenever you started doing country music, did you like it? I said, it was cool, but as you write songs, you find out which ones really hit you and say, that's something I should record for myself.
What really hits you these days?
Oh, song-wise? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So, I wrote a song with Greg Wilson.
Oh, I love Greg.
And Scott Barrier.
Two of my favorite guys.
Yes. And I had this idea hit, man. I can't even tell you. Usually I get my ideas whenever I'm driving. 90% of the time. Whether it's a melody or, I just grab my phone. Whenever I got Music Row years ago, it was that type of thing.
Yeah.
And this one hit in a way that I wasn't expecting it to. Because I haven't written Christian music in forever. Mm-hmm. And my publisher had been asking me, she goes, you got any story songs? I said, yeah. So she heard Music Row and she loved it.
That is a great song.
Mm-hmm. She loved Time Ain't Now. She loved that whole thing, that constant push and not giving up. And she goes, you got any third-person story songs or stuff like a little bit deeper? I'm like, deeper?
Deeper?
My gosh. I said, okay. So I had this idea hit me, man, and I'm not going to lie. I don't know when it's coming out. Mm-hmm. I just know that I'm very proud of it, because when we got in the room to write it, both of my buddies were like, this is something pretty special.
Oh, you're singing for us?
I'm going to do my best.
All right.
Raised up from humble beginnings, watching leaves fall with the seasons. Roots run deep, this is where I'll always be. Then one day my whole world changed. They cut me down, carried me away. What they fashioned forever sealed my fate. I thought I'd be a table, maybe a chair or a cradle, or a fishing boat out on Galilee. Never thought in a million years I'd be standing in his mother's tears on Calvary holding the King of Kings. It's hard to believe a simple piece of wood like me would make his tree.
Wow.
I'm not going to ruin it, but that's what I got. So yeah,
That
I'll give you a little
fantastic.
tease. Yeah.
Wow.
So my publisher heard it and she cried. She sent it to the partners out in Nebraska. They cried. I've played it for my grandma's also one of my favorite fans, and just I always say I thank God for the Grammy that wakes me up in the morning versus the one that sits on the shelf collecting dust.
Oh, that's clever.
And she says she always calls me when I send her stuff. When she finally figures out how to listen to it, and she goes, "Darling, I just can't stop crying. That was just wow! What a beautiful TV picture."
Wow.
And that was the whole idea of how I wanted to hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the original way I wanted to hit it. And then I went off of it for a moment, and we went back to it because Greg goes, "The way that we're going about it seems so obvious. Is there a way that we can twist it where it's not so obvious?"
Not so obvious.
And so I threw my first version out, and he was like, "I love that."
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thought you could be a table or a lot of different things.
Yeah, well, see, when I first hit it, I thought about all the things that, like, I'll just say it on there, man. I was like, I thought I'd sail the ocean floors, see the seven wonders of the world, be a foundation in a home or cradling a baby boy or girl.
Yeah.
Someone would make a masterpiece out of me, no matter the cost. But I never thought I'd make history when they made me into a cross.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, but it was
That's
too it was because we didn't know what to
easy.
call the song.
Yeah.
It was going to be called The Cross, and that just didn't stand out enough. So
now it's called
now it's called His Tree.
His Tree.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
So-
Very good. That's a good writing team right there.
yeah.
Three geniuses in the same room.
Oh man, they're more genius than I am. I tell people all the time. I said it the other day when I had a round last week. I write good songs by myself, but I write great songs with everybody else.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Absolutely.
I can only get so far in my brain till I start saying "dadgum" every other lyric.
This is a co-writing town here in Nashville.
Yes, it is.
We encourage you to do that. We have from the beginning of this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And leave your egos at home in the ego box if you
Ego is not your amigo.
Yeah, I like that.
Kevin Griffin used to
That's
say.
nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Where did you learn to write?
What?
Because the craft, it's a craft, and I think it can be learned. You have a certain amount of talent, but I think
It is.
You
I
can
think-
take that talent and hone it.
I think what you go through life experiences. I know one thing that helped me a lot was college. I went to school for commercial music performance. That was the associate's degree.
Awesome.
And I learned how to write and think commercially viable thoughts that were already kind of setting in from what I learned as a kid,
Yeah.
singing early on.
Okay.
And sight singing and ear training. I had to be able to hear a note on the piano and tell you what it was, and then follow that melody melodically with my voice, and then play with it and make sure it made sense. So it was already creating the melody side of things for me, which is I love being a melody
You
guy
are
in
a
the
good
room.
melody person.
Thank you. I'm doing my best to stay that way. Lyrics, it's usually not necessarily a hit and miss. It's I'll come in with ideas, but I don't have the rest of the furniture. But I believe it's God telling me that you're not supposed to be the best at everything. Mm-hmm. If you're the best at what I've given you, I'm going to put you in people that are better at that specific point, because you bear one of those burdens is fulfill the law of Christ. That's what the Bible says. And so that's the way I think about it when I walk in the room. I have something to bring. Everybody has something to bring to the table.
Everybody does?
Yes. And we're all humble. We all know our weak spots. I know mine is lyrics. I will not fret.
You think that's your weak spot?
I believe so, because I say it's till someone throws something back at me based on what I said. It's a weak spot because I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm processing. I'm more focused on the melody, finding a way to get something hooky going, and then I let the other people in the room, based off the hook that I threw out, start throwing stuff out.
You like the twist, don't you?
I do.
You like to come up with a twist.
I do. I love coming up with
That's
twists.
straightforward.
Yeah.
We're going to twist it somehow. We're going to make you think. We're going to make you go, Yeah.
I want to make you think. I want to make you cry, and I definitely want to keep you wondering why.
That's just awesome. That is very beautiful.
Yeah,
How
man.
about one more before we take a break? You got another
Sure.
one
Yeah.
that you've been doing these days?
Well, what I've been doing these days, but I also like to back in was it last year? We got in the room for the first time.
Yeah, that was a pleasure to be in the room with you.
It was
you and Greg Matthews, the mayor.
That was a great song.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It was your great idea that you brought to the table.
But see, and we created it based on just the fact that I get so sick and tired of, certain people just wanting to use you and just drain you, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, mentally. No. And it gets so frustrating because...
It's got to be tough for you. And you are naturally a giving and sharing person. And I've known that about you.
Yeah.
You like to bring a lot of people into the fold, and you like to help a lot of people out, play guitar for others that can't.
Yeah.
You give of yourself, and I think it's probably very easy for folks to just take too much.
Take too much, yes, and not wanting to reciprocate even a little. Like I'm a go-to for a lot of people, and I respect not everybody's wired to be the one to take it, but they can diss it all day and won't even ask me how my day was. Yeah, those are things that just wreck me sometimes because I'm not always ready for whatever they're ready to throw at me. I need someone to lean on. I need someone to vent at myself, and usually I have a few friends in town that I can do that with, but my dad is probably my number one. We talk so much all the time, yes.
I love that. That's great. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's where this song came from, so you and Greg Matthews, man, thanks for bringing this to life. See if I can remember this, daggum. If you want to get to know me, let's get a cheap cup of coffee or even $3 whiskey. Hell, I'll settle for a beer. If you want to be my friend, don't just ask how I've been. Take a seat and now settle in. Let me bend your ear. If you wanna get to know this heart of mine, learning my love language means a little more time. So let's take it nice and slow. We can get us where we wanna go. I'll open up the door and let you look inside. You show me yours and I'll show you mine. There's a whole lot more than what you think you see. So come on and get to know me. I'll take you out to the country, show you some dirt road memories, maybe make a few of our own. Oh yeah, 'cause I wanna get to know you. All the secrets you keep and dreams you're dreaming that have yet to come true. What you wanna do, where you wanna go. Baby, just let me know. If you wanna get to know this heart of mine, learning my love language means a little more time. So let's take it nice and slow. We can get us where we wanna go. I'll open up the door and let you look inside. You show me yours and I'll show you mine. There's a whole lot more than what you think you see. So come on and get to know me. As if you want to know what I'm about, ain't no better time like here and now. Says if you want to get to know this heart of mine, learning my love language means a little more time. So let's take it nice and slow. We can get us where we want to go. I'll open up the door and let you look inside. You show me yours and I'll show you mine. There's a whole lot more than what you think you see. Yeah, there's so much beauty to this mystery. So come on and get to know me. Let's get a cheap cup of coffee or even $3 whiskey. Hell, I'll settle for a beer.
If you know where to get $3 whiskey, I'm there.
Well,
we're getting to know.
Sometimes you think about cheap whiskey, right?
Yeah,
even
exactly,
right. Place like Nashville, you ain't gonna find for $3 unless it's just watered
Especially
down for
downtown.
hours. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Downtown, they put that 25% tax on it, or whatever it is. We're getting to know Justin Love on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Don't go away. There's more coming.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Justin Love is our guest, and he just signed with SB21 to a big publishing deal, and it is so good to have you back on the show, my friend. Thanks for doing that song. I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
I mean, when it's a good hook, and you know, you think about certain things. Like I said, I'm a melody guy 90% of the time. So when I bring something to the table, like you're a storyteller, you're quite a storyteller. You think about Louisville Slugger. The Baby I'm Gone song, I'm listening to those lyrics just as much as I am melodically. After I've heard it enough times melodically, I've got that memorized. So now I'm focusing on the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, and then just you're so ridiculous. Said no one ever.
Oh, stop.
But I mean, the thing that's it's clever. Like it's just song's so clever. But I mean, it's like you think about it. You set it up so simply, but it's actually quite clever. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, thank you.
And,
I'm getting red over here. Stop.
No, well, but anyway,
This is about you.
And then Greg Matthews, who was another
yes,
crazy, clever son of a gun.
Yeah,
And
he really
it just
is.
made sense to write a serious song with you guys that speaks volumes to me whenever someone wants to just ask me for my connections versus asking me, how are things going, Justin?
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
It's very sad.
But it
man.
happens, especially in this town. People want to ride on the coattails a lot. And I recently I know this artist who is really getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And Mom texted me the other day, this is my new number. I had to change it.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
getting too much,
stress.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, well, that sucks.
It's sad. It does suck. It
Yeah.
really does. There's the word germ. If you don't know the word germ, look it up. Talk to my friend Mark Allen Barnett. He'll tell you.
Oh man, I thought about him earlier today. Not like that, but like you know, I was like, I heard his song playing in my head. I got a thing for you. Where he goes with that, I'm like, wow.
He played with the Kenleys at the Cittery Winery a couple weeks ago. On Saturday we went.
Nice.
And what a great show that was. The Kenleys. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Jennifer and Heather, they could still belt it out.
Oh,
and
man.
those three together, incredible.
Right, man.
Incredible
You work
show.
out them arrangements. I mean, he's got that perfect voice for just fitting right there in the middle or going
Soulful.
right up soaring.
Yeah, country soul is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, you know, I saw a show recently with you at the Listening Room where you've been playing a lot.
Yeah.
You sell out these Saturday brunch shows that are so much fun, and it was just one of the best rounds I ever seen. And I've been to two of those now, and each one of them were just fantastic rounds.
Yeah.
You bring great people in. Like I said, you always share. You know?
Yeah, well, I got a ton of great people to bring in. You
Yeah.
know, my someone asked me once, or I'm doing a round coming up. I think this Friday, which would be March 8th, and there I went. There I did it again.
There you did it.
Sorry.
We're in April, but you can talk about
Anyway,
it.
so
Yeah.
I had a writers round coming up March 8th with hit songwriter Paul Sykes.
Paul Sykes.
Yeah, Paul Sykes. He had number one for Cody Johnson.
Wow.
Give me a second. Which song is it? Longer Than She Did.
Wow.
And then he also had the Wildflowers and Wild Horses by Lainey Wilson recently.
Oh, great.
Great song.
You and him together. That's awesome.
And so I had forgot where I was going with this story. I forgot what you had said. Dang it. Well,
That's
oh well.
all right. We were talking about the listening room shows.
Oh, yeah.
The great folks that you bring there.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I had someone ask me, says, so do you have any hit songs? And I was like,
Yeah.
ones you haven't heard yet. I said,
right.
and I got hit writers I wrote them with that you probably ain't heard of, but just know that
And I imagine that's a nice thing about having a publishing deal. They put you with hit writers, don't they?
they do. They do. I mean, I'm thankful. I've gotten to be in the room with Greg Barnhill, who wrote Walk Away Joe.
Yeah.
You know, and
Kidding.
you appreciate moments like that. You don't take them for granted, and you just hope and pray that you're able to give it your best, and that they also want to jump on board just as much. And
Isn't that cool?
the day that we wrote, we had, I think, 5 hours. We had 3 songs.
5
Yeah.
hours and you wrote 3 songs.
Yeah, so we chatted for the first 45 minutes, just getting familiar with each other's stories. And I loved that because my first time meeting him, you know, he wasn't nervous. I was a lot nervous. And we found the connection, and after 45 minutes, we just started writing, and we kept writing, and we got to the next song. So,
Wow.
yeah, I say 3 songs. We actually had 2.5, but then we met again, like maybe a week later, and finished the other one.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a fast writer?
I'm a fast writer because, regardless, I don't have a fast car.
I
Forgive me if
car.
Yeah. I would not say I'm a fast writer all the time. It depends on who I'm in the room with, what's being given, if we're writing for my catalog, or if we're writing for their catalog. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid to jump in if there's already a momentum.
I got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it can happen real quick like that. And I know some that are really fast writers. And I had the great pleasure of writing with Jeff Dayton just a few
Oh,
years back.
nice. Love Jeff. Man, you seen him in a moment.
Oh, it was a lesson in songwriting, writing, and he's going to be on a podcast coming up here.
Nice.
Watch him. He's had a lot of hits, and he's still is a very relevant performer. Travels a lot, in and around, and has so many great songwriting stories. And writing with him, it was like a lesson. It really was. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I imagine you do too from the people that you write. I think every time you come to the table, you learn, don't
Absolutely,
you?
yes. I mean, you don't, what is it? You don't come, what do they say? You don't leave the same as you came, right?
Never.
It's the same thing whenever, you're in the writing room. You're going in there and you are learning every bit of what you thought you already knew. A little bit better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good. What else did you have planned on playing here today?
Man, I'm thinking of...
You got so many.
So you had Michael J. on your podcast recently.
I sure did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he is a good friend of mine. We've been writing a good bit. And
good, because he's a good one, man.
He is just a great guy. He's a champion of mine. I'm a champion of his. I mean...
That's good.
And we got in the room for...
If you haven't listened to that podcast, by the way, just a couple of weeks back, go ahead. Michael J.
Yeah.
He's worked with people like Celine Dion, and a producer and songwriter.
Yeah.
And big #1 hit from a pop hit, Martika,
Toy Soldiers.
which Eminem also did a version of. So this guy's had hits out there.
Yeah,
and now he lives in Nashville.
Yeah, and he's writing country music of all things, right?
He is. I'm going to play around with him coming up here.
Hey, nice.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great people. So.
But anyway, you've been working with him. Good.
He had this idea, and I was so thankful because, he was like, literally had been just coming back from a Bluebird Cafe Grammy show. He was there for that event. Wow. And he come flying into Commodore Grill, passing everybody like I was a woman or something. But literally, he just came darting right at me and said, I got a song we need to write.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, we'll talk later. Like, all right. So I did my round and everything, and then he told me a little bit about the idea, and I was like, okay. And so I threw some ideas out before I met. I got with him, and it's first time writing with him by myself, and it was just him and I. It was the beautiful thing about it. But he had the good half bit of the lyrics already set, how to hit the hook. So at this point, it made my job easy, being the melody guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And I'm not going to lie, I love what we created. So
I can't wait to hear it.
yeah, it's a great song. She shows up every night at my favorite bar, in a red dress and boots looking like a star. I think I get the picture. She's trying to make me miss her. She knows my weakness, she plays it so well. I'm begging for mercy, but she casts her spell. It couldn't be simpler. She's trying to make me miss her. She's trying to make me feel bad and be sad as I watch a good thing going, laughing with her girlfriends as my world ends, hoping that I only remember the good times, forget all about the hurting. She's trying to make me miss her, and I think it's working. Saw her out with another guy, made me laugh cause he ain't her type, but he ain't really with her. She's just trying to make me miss her. Guess that's why I can't get no sleep. I close my eyes and she's in my dreams. How can I resist her when she's trying to make me miss her? She's trying to make me feel bad and be sad as I watch a good thing going, laughing with her girlfriends as my world ends, hoping that I only remember the good times, forget all about the hurting. She's trying to make me miss her, and I think it's working. It feels like she's with me everywhere I go, 'cause her memory just won't leave me alone. I think she knows. She's trying to make me feel bad and be sad as I watch a good thing going, laughing with her girlfriends as my world ends, hoping that I only remember the good times, forget all about the hurting. She's trying to make me miss her, and I think it's working. She's trying to make me miss her, and I think it's working.
She'll do that to you. Michael J., huh? And Justed Love, our guest on the Songwriter Connection podcast. You guys write some good stuff.
Thank you, man.
Really good.
Yeah, super excited about that one. Like,
Yeah.
we got it demoed already, so hopefully
Good.
it finds a home. If not, I mean, I'll take a
hope it
crack
will.
at it. Heck,
Yeah, that's what I say. When people cutting them, I'll cut them.
Yeah, right.
I'll put them out there. Do you have any music out there right now?
yeah. I mean, I have. You can go to justinlovemusic.com. It'll take you to everything, but there's also my Spotify and everything's
Right.
on there. But
I Want Is on Spotify, right?
yep, I Wanna, Time Ain't Now, my Christmas song.
Well, and I was that was going to be my next point. I wanted to thank you for what I thought was the greatest Christmas gift this year was your song "Glow." That, you know what? If you didn't hear it, you should go and listen.
Yeah.
And the video just killed me. The video was amazing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we performed at Listening Room in that same suit. That's
Yes,
the
you
funny
did.
part. Yeah,
In
that's
fact, I
hilarious.
got a picture of you and me in Brooklyn summer
Yeah.
in front of a Christmas tree at Cambria.
Yeah, Cambria.
In that same outfit. Uh-huh. That was awesome. You
Steve-
were running all over Opryland
Yeah.
doing that song.
Steve Dean, he was so funny. He goes, "Man, I have got to get a picture with you. I feel like I need to find a suit like that to attract females." And then he goes,
Wait, I'm married.
"Yeah." He goes, I just want the photos." So that was pretty cool.
Steve Dean, another one's been on this show. Great hit songwriter.
Yeah, he
Great
is.
guy,
Yeah.
Now, "Glow" was written with you and Nancy Deckett and
Scott Barrier.
And Scott Barrier.
Corey Lee Barker.
Corey Lee Barker. Of course, they call him
Yes.
Christmas Corey for a reason.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about that song is I was actually headed to a round at Listening Room in Pigeon Forge, and I had the melody hit me. And I literally, I kid you not, I put my phone down and went, down, all the way through.
No,
and all I
it's
had was the word glow, and I think I had, I've been waiting for this moment, waiting for the glow.
That's what I love.
All that. But
How
I
you took it up.
didn't have any lyrics besides just the word glow and how I knew I wanted to hit it.
Oh my gosh.
And I
that's
got in the room with
fantastic.
some beautiful people that, they just created it, and then Jason loved it, and the production is just so powerful.
Really was.
I've been listening to it even though it ain't Christmas, because it's been snowing sometimes. I'm like, oh my goodness, look, it's snow.
That melody just sticks in your head.
Yes.
The glow. Oh.
Yeah.
You did that. You talk about melody. There
Melody,
you go.
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, It's not always the first melody that pops in your head, isn't it? You got to find a way to make it work. Or is it for you?
It's not always the first melody, because sometimes I've got to go back and play and make sure that I'm not copying something I've already done or what someone else has already done.
Yeah.
And I think there's beauty about having something to start with and then finessing it as you go. Because even your writers, like Scott Barrier, he's got melody ideas.
Yeah, he does.
Greg Wilson has melody ideas.
He sure does.
These guys are just Corey Lee Barker has melody ideas. Even though it sounds like a wolf, but he still does it.
Yeah.
And you appreciate what they sprinkle in because it makes it less easy to catch. Easier to catch on your ears, more ear candy, but not so obvious as how, like, say, oh, of course he was going to go there.
Yeah.
What I did, I love finding ways to make things so unobvious, so not so easy to figure it out. Like my twist in my song, stuff like that. If I don't hit you with the hook in some type of weird way, I hope I hit you with the melody in a way that it's like it sticks, but it took a moment to like really wrap it. Like, oh wow.
Now, I'm glad you said that because in the last podcast I did, we were talking about with Gold Pine. We were talking about with Cassie and Ben about lyrics, surprising folks with like a near rhyme or a rhyme that you didn't expect.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I love because I hate sitting in a songwriter round watching a young writer and I can just about predict what the next rhyme is going to be. But it's the same with melody, isn't it?
It can be, yes. So that's why you always want to make sure you don't make it too predictable. And you were talking about that, hilarious. I was listening back to our podcast not too long ago just because I love listening to how I approached
First one
it.
we did?
Yeah. How many times I messed up with the date. But anyway. Oh, by the way, I'm on this one, so I'll preface and I'll go ahead and make aware. So I was on a podcast recently and I called my dad a dopehead. And I didn't mean to. He actually dipped. So he got delivered from dipping. So I got those two mixed up. So disclaimer, it's not true. So just making the record straight.
He likes to dip, not dope.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But anyway, I think I appreciate someone that brings something familiar, but then gives you something that isn't so easy that you can't manipulate and make your own in a way that it's fun to make the people's ears go jumping. Like,
how about transitioning it from your head to your instrument?
Well, I did sight singing and ear training. So as soon as I get a melody up here, I've 90% of the time already got the production of what I'm probably going to do with just playing my guitar.
You know how to do it immediately on your guitar. I think that's a gift. I always heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, my brother always had what we called perfect pitch, where it was the same thing. You could hit a note on a piano and he'd say, well, that's E. How do you know that? I just know.
Sight singing and ear training, I will tell you as a kid, so like when I did Christian music, a big band I used to listen to was Mercy Me.
Yeah.
And they had that song come out, I Can Only Imagine.
Only Imagine.
I had maybe touched a keyboard twice, right? I didn't really fiddle too much on it. I had yet to really pay attention to the drums. The guitar, but I was playing attention to the drums, and I had melodies hitting my head. So I was like, I got to figure out something. Well, I started playing a little bit of the guitar, and Mercy Me came out with their song, and my dad and my sister, my older sister, Crystal, like, kid you not, she's a phenomenal guitar player and also a phenomenal piano. She's one of the most elegant finger pickers I know. Wow. Me, I'm a redneck rigger. But anyway,
Me too.
My dad and my sister were trying to figure out the intro, which is simply just ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I kid you not, I literally walked over there and said, it's right here. Bum, bum, bum. And then walked away.
On the piano.
And my dad comes to the dinner table. I kid you not, I'll never forget. He just does this. How'd that boy do that? I don't get it.
I don't.
So either. I got to all the more develop what God gave me as far as a gift of the ear for music when I got to college.
So that's what I guess I'm saying. It can be trained.
I think it can.
You're trained.
Just like anything, honestly.
And I think it's important. And I work with a lot of young artists as well too. And I know from my personal experience, I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I think I've learned to do the best with what I've got. But a lot of it is because you train your ear, and you can actually feel when you're going flat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just because I have perfect pitch doesn't mean everything I'm going to do is perfect. I just know. I had a buddy in college. We had to literally keep our mouths shut for like the last 2 semesters of sight singing and ear training because we knew all the answers. Yeah. But my buddy, he knew it to the extreme that you could put him in there and you could just hit everything on the piano. He'd go, that's this, that's this, that's this. And it's like, I can't do that. I can give you the root.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's all I need for me.
It's talent. It really is.
Yeah.
Ear training. Check it out. There are apps. I love this app that has this ear training on it. Mm-hmm. Also has it's also got, and I can't tell you the name of it off the top of my head, but it also has fretboard training as well, where it'll pluck a note and you can tell it what it is and where it is on the guitar. But the ear training is so valuable because it will train you to hit that note right. I can remember a producer telling me, Billy Lee, that note's not even in this key. Do you realize that note that you're saying? That's not a note. This is the note, and you hit it. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
And so you learn to develop that, I think.
Yeah. So. And I think also, like when I was in college, I had to do something called a guitar ensemble.
Guitar ensemble?
Guitar ensemble, where I had to literally tell you every single note on the guitar of every fret of every string all the way to the 12th fret.
I love it.
And literally...
And then it repeats at the 12th.
Yes, absolutely. And then I had to, like, if he said, play a D on the G string, and I'm like, okay.
D. See, that's so important.
So it's like, but it became clockwork because obviously my memory, and I had to do the scales. I mean, I had to have so much of that ingrained, and I think that's also why I get hired to play for so many people.
Yeah.
So, and I'm fine with it because I love playing for others.
Yeah, that's what I need to work on too. That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm more of a chord guy,
That's okay. Same thing for chords, man.
Yeah.
Number system's great.
Yeah, it really is. Nashville numbers, there's another thing to look into. Well, we're running out of time, and I know Patty's making a meatloaf. We're here in the dining room. So this doubles as a dining room. So
Dave's dining room. Dave's dine-in podcast.
That's right, exactly right. Songs around the dining room table. And I want at least one more from the great Justin Love, our guest
you
today.
Want one more? Okay. Well, daggum. Set up the story for you. Okay, fine. I'll end with this one. I had a friend of mine who, every time we talked, so we've been friends in passing, so you say, or as people would say. We didn't really get to, become friends till recently, and we found out that we had like a crush on each other. And maybe started kind of taking things a little too fast, which is fine. We kind of backed things up, but I think the frustrating thing about it was whenever we had our conversation of like, I think we should take it slow, she brought it up to me on text, which I can't stand. Mm-hmm. It's fine, just wait to tell me in person or a phone call. But anyway, so they told me this, and they kept on saying, I kid you not, please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. We've been friends for 5 years, man. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. And I'm sorry. If that wasn't enough to make me want to write a song, it was then getting in the room with Michael Seff, Scott Barrier, and birthday girl from last night, Kendra Remedios.
Oh, wonderful people.
We wrote this song, so we'll see if we can crank it out.
Brand new.
Through the static and the noise, I can hear it in your voice. You're breaking down in tears. Wish I could see it in your face that you're in a different place. How the hell did we get here? I know it's hurting you to be hurting me. So we've always been friends with history. And honestly, I can't believe I hear you saying, please don't hate me. Girl, there isn't anything you can do to make me feel that way. I'll never leave, but here in this moment, I need a moment. I would give everything to get us back on the same page. After everything we've been through, everything but hate you. For a moment there's a kiss, now you're slipping through the tips. Thought I had you wrapped around my fingers. Were you second guessing in your head while you were lying on my chest? Girl, you shouldn't know better. There isn't anything you can do to make me feel that way. I'll never leave, but here in this moment, I need a moment. I would give everything to get us back on the same page after everything we've been through. Everything but hey you. Girl, there isn't anything you can do to make me feel that way. I'll never leave, but here in this moment, I need a moment. I would give everything to get us back on the same page after everything we've been through. Baby, after everything we've been through, everything but hate you. Everything but hate you.
Wow. Justin Love. Great song. That was a four-way go right.
That's a four-way. That's my, yeah, I've done like maybe 5 or 6 of them.
What's the largest amount of people in the room that you do? Because we're seeing a lot of that today. I'm seeing some of these same records, 6, 7 guys. Right?
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Can't make myself do it.
Oh,
4
man.
is a great amount.
It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 is a great amount. I had someone ask me recently to get in the room, and there would be 5 people. I said, I'm out.
I'm out.
In the great words of Mark Cuban from Shark Tank.
I'm out. Yeah, I kind of like 3. 2 and 3. 3 is really ideal because if you both are fighting over something, you get a third one to break the tie.
Yes. Well, and I think of 3 also because I believe, I focus on 3 because Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Where 2 or more are gathered, there He is in the midst. So
well, there you
I'm
go.
good with 2 or 3.
That's great. Justin, thank you. So good to have you on the show.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm going to keep following you on the socials, and I'm a big fan. So
I appreciate it. You can follow me on the socials. Don't
Please
follow
do.
me home. I ain't
Don't
got
follow
no
you
room.
home. That's right. In Spotify and YouTube, there's lots of your videos and stuff out
Yes.
there. Get to know him. You don't want him to take a cup of coffee. So.
Get to know him.
Coming up on shows coming up. This is the 3rd of April. I know coming up real soon, Eve Sellis has got an amazing record that is coming out in April, and 2 days before that arrives, we'll have her on the show, and she's one of my favorite singers of all time. Bree Carter, who's doing some amazing things. Do you know Bree?
I know Bree. We've written a song together.
Have you really?
Yeah.
She's really tearing it up these days, and we're going to have her on. A group called Tulane Summer, I'm going to get to know, and Kirsty Manna coming up soon.
Ah, very nice.
All big shows coming up on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Thanks for listening. Like us, and please hit that subscribe button if you're listening on YouTube, and we'll catch you next week, okay?
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.